They were not broken. I went to the doctor immediately. Frank Gatson drove me. I was not hospitalized. Both my doctors in LA and Chicago cleared me to perform, but said to take care, obviously. And above all, I fought the fuck back. I enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm not sure who he was, but he allowed Claire to get her apology in, and we'll talk about that. Anybody know who the black dude was that fully forgave Claire yesterday? Anybody know him? Anybody know him? Anybody know his family? I just want to know what type of raccoons they are. There's not one kind of raccoon. There's all types of raccoons. And this raccoon, it seems like he's probably from the Ypsilanti territory. Or I hope he's not one of those raccoons that's from another territory and he wants to speak on Ypsi issues just because a white woman said so. Because there are those types of raccoons too. Those are some dangerous raccoons who only surface to defend white supremacy, white supremacists, bigots, failed college graduates. I think that's what she is, or she wouldn't be where she is. Your parents didn't pay all that money to send you from Twin Lakes to Ypsilanti, Michigan to get a college degree for you to be a barkeep. You were supposed to make something of yourself. And all you've done is make trouble. That's all you've done, Claire. You've made trouble. You are dangerous to black people. When black people think of you, they should walk the other way. Except for that one that defended her wholeheartedly. He can rock with her. He can go, because we don't need him anyway. He's not needed in the collective. The fact that he could understand where she was coming from, I believe that's what he said. He understood where she was coming from. Yeah. But we don't understand where you're coming from, bro. So he's one of them guys that doesn't say bruh. He don't say bruh or just say bro. He says bro. Yeah, he's one of those. He's one of those. But wherever he is, I mean, that post has been taken down now. She made her apology, her appeasing apology, as it were. She got people to line up, you know, because they gonna stand on code. White supremacists gonna stand on code. Y'all gotta understand, if black folks can learn anything, we need to be on code like white supremacists are. If we can learn anything from them, we have to learn how to be on code. Just like white supremacy. Y'all want to walk away from white supremacy. No, y'all run away from white supremacy. Y'all put your heads in the sand where white supremacy is concerned. Just be honest with yourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you want to boss up at certain points, like with your brethren. Don't boss up with your brethren if you can't boss up with Becky. Don't boss up with your brethren if you can't boss up with Bobby. Bobby and Becky been kicking your ass for the last 400 plus years, but you'll never want to boss up to them. Gangsters, thugs. Ain't nobody took a shot. And none of them cops that shot Breonna Taylor, Rashard Brooks, Terrence Crusher, David Harris, Walter Scott. What about the motherfuckers that shook Freddie Gray to death? What about the motherfuckers that choked Eric Garner? Ain't nobody took a shot at them motherfuckers, but they shooting the fuck up out their neighborhoods. Gangsters. Gangsters and thugs. George Zimmerman ain't had to duck a bullet yet. He ain't ducked a bullet yet. Done sued Trayvon Martin's parents and had the case dismissed, and ain't nobody took a shot at him yet. But y'all keep shooting up the hood that you don't own. Yeah. But I ain't accepting Claire's apology just yet. Seeing that I believe her apology was fabricated, from what was seen, it looks like she wanted to throw everybody in the pot with her. She even put her employer in there, which kind of lets me know her employer was like, you need to clear the fuck out of our name here, because we ain't got nothing to do with what you did, Claire. But the heat ain't up off of them yet, because the employer has not reached out yet and called the gentleman who actually saw the original post of Claire's detrimental statement, and he has not reached back yet. I guess his muscles are still cooking. What up, cuz? Yeah, I guess his muscle, he gonna have the most tender muscles in the world. I've never had muscles before, so I don't know if they're supposed to be tender or firm. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what muscles are, so. I know what they are, but I don't know. I know it's a food. I don't know where they come from. Yeah, so Claire apologized and the brigade jumped on and, oh yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And she's not racist. She even hates the police. That don't mean shit to me. Anybody that says something about they hate the police, then okay, you want lawlessness in your community. See, I don't want lawlessness in my community. I like law and order to be kept in my community. Now, granted, the community that I grew up in and the community that I live in now, not a lot of crime, to be honest with you. I've never really lived around a lot of crime. So I've never really had the need to even call police or have them around. I've lived in pretty decent areas, and I've lived in subsidized communities and I've lived in single family dwellings. Never lived in an area where I felt unsafe. I think Claire feels unsafe, or she wouldn't have made the statement that she said, because after all, she is from Twin Lakes. And I know that there's a considerable amount of black people in Ypsi, more than there is in Twin Lakes, because Twin Lakes, Michigan, it has 95.47, if I'm not mistaken, 95.47% white folk. 95.47. Whereas black folks come in at a huge number of 0.56, if I'm not mistaken. Those numbers might have teetered a little bit, but I believe that's where we are. 0.56%. We are 0.5% population in Twin Lakes. I have no idea what Twin Lakes is. I believe it's somewhere outside of Muskegon, if I'm not mistaken. Way outside, because all the people I know in Muskegon is black. Everybody I know in Muskegon is black, but they must not live in Twin Lakes. Twin Lakes is a territory for Caucasian individuals. And once Claire got out of school, she came here to get her college education, and she's stayed, obviously. She didn't go back to Twin Lakes. She has stayed in Ypsilanti. So she has worked here. She is now earning here after getting her college degree. She is now working in beer taps. And she didn't major in beer tapping, but that's what she's working in now. She's working in beer tapping. She's a managerial beer tapper. Part-time race soldier. Full-time bigot. I know some people are going to be like, oh, well, maybe she's not a bigot. But yes, she is. She's not a racist because she ain't got no money. If she had money, she wouldn't be working at the Ypsi Ale House after graduating from college, coming from Twin Lakes. Yeah, she ain't got no bread. So she's a bigot. She doesn't get the stripes of a racist. She only gets bigot stripes. Okay? She only gets bigot stripes. She gets her patch with a jar of mayonnaise on it. Yeah, we're not forgiving the comment. We're not letting go of the apology, because the apology was fabricated. And it's unfortunate that people have not able to see it because she's taking it down. So she put the apology up, but then she took it down. If she meant that shit, if she was going to stand 10 toes down on that shit, why didn't the apology stay? Why didn't the apology stay? Stay. What you mean? Yeah. So Claire's full of shit. She's full of shit. So we're not accepting the apology, as appeasing as it was. Claire, you're not in the clear. You're not in the clear, Claire. And I tell you who else isn't in the clear. Jussie. Jussie now saying he's in jail because he's black. He's in jail because he's black. No, Jussie, you're in jail because you're the gay Tupac.
I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked. They were not broken. I went to the doctor immediately. Frank Gatson drove me. I was not hospitalized. Both my doctors in LA and Chicago cleared me to perform.
Both of them.
And above all, I fought the fuck back.
Ooh, that tickles me. That tickles me so. You heard it. He's the gay Tupac.
I'm the gay Tupac. I'm the gay Tupac. I'm the gay Tupac. I'm the gay Tupac.
And seeing that he is the gay Tupac, he's where Tupac spent a considerable amount of his adult life, in jail. Yeah, he's in jail. Says he's only in jail because he's black. This ain't got shit else to do with nothing. He's in jail because he's black. The gay Tupac. He said, I'm only here because I'm black. But see, he got 5 months, and he's only going to do about half of those 5 months. So 5 months, that's 150 days. He's only going to do about 75 of those days because he'll get off for good behavior because he's going to be in the psych ward the whole time. So he's only going to do half the time because he's only half black. See? Problem solved. You're not in there because you're black. You're in there because you're half black. And the half that's black ain't even really black. Yeah. You are light-skinned, Jussie. And you did what a lot of light-skinned people think they can do. See, just because people be light, they think they can get away with shit. I know for a fact that light-skinned people traditionally think they can get away with more shit than dark-skinned people because they think they closer to the prize. You know what the prize is? There's a lot of light-skinned people out there think because they light, bright, and almost white, that they can be right. That's what Jussie thought. Jussie thought he was going to light skin his way to freedom. He thought he was going to light skin his way right out of this. He had so many things going against him. First and foremost, before he even had the idea that he was going to do this, he was unhappy with his contract in Hollywood. It was his career, and I understand that was his job. But you were upset about your contract in Hollywood, yet you thought you'd bring other people into your mess. Why didn't you do all this on Lee Daniels' lot, Lee Daniels' studio? Why didn't you do all this craziness dealing with Lee Daniels? Why'd you have to bring it into the city of Chicago? It helped get that former police chief all fucked up. I think he made out, though. He ended up getting his money. Had old girl, she was starstruck. What's her name? Kim Fox had her all fucked up. You know, because she's starstruck, so she messing with the family, talking to the family, talking to Lee Daniels, talking to Oprah, talking to everybody. And this motherfucker is guilty as ever. Where's Robin Roberts? Is Robin Roberts coming back to interview Jussie in jail? She took that interview and she sat on that sword wholeheartedly. She sat on that sword by interviewing Jussie's lying ass, putting her on his platform as a fellow LGBTQIAP member. That's the only reason Robin Roberts took that interview, was because they're both gay. She didn't take that interview because she felt like it was going to further her career. Jussie couldn't help her career. She could help Jussie's career. She could help validate Jussie. Robin's already validated. She's one of the most prominent journalists, broadcast journalists in the world. Not black, journalist. She's well respected. She's well respected. So for her to take that interview, I thought that was some clown shit. I thought it was flat out clown shit because she didn't need to do that. Just like Gail didn't need to do R. Kelly. They knew what that was going to be. That was going to be another one of R. Kelly's videos. R. Kelly, he can act. You've seen him act in his videos. R. Kelly was going to get up there on and act on that TV. He wasn't going to get up there and let his true feelings out. R. Kelly's true feelings, we already seen what R. Kelly's true feelings were. All that other, that was just to try to save himself. Jussie was trying to save himself when he went on Robin Roberts. And that was at the beginning. That was at the beginning when he was acting humble and crying and shit. Now he's putting up his fist, walking out the courtroom. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. Yes, you are. You are suicidal, Jussie. You are suicidal. You killed your own career. You killed your own career. You're suicidal as fuck. What was he making, like $30,000 a week? Some crazy shit? He wasn't happy with it. Like, you're supposed to be a singer. I guess they say he can sing. So you're acting like a singer. You're gay. We've seen that. So you're acting like a gay singer. How hard could that have been? That wasn't much of a stretch from his real life. Was he even really acting, or was he just living his life with the cameras on? All the gay scenes that he had throughout the years, he didn't have to act that out. He was gay. He didn't have to overcome any type of ambivalence or anxiety about kissing a man because that's who he likes to kiss. He was getting paid to be who he was. Instead of Jussie, he was Jamal. Instead of Smollett, he was a lion. And at the end, he was just a lion. A cowardly lion. A lion. Just a lion nigga. So, when I think about people like Jussie, who are fortunate enough to get over the hump, this is why America's so twisted on black folks. Friedman. You see a couple of us get through the cracks and make it over to that other side where, of prominence or notoriety. You think the masses don't need anything. But yes, the masses need something. Hell, the people who made it over, a lot of times they need something. Jussie needs something. Jussie needs something. Jussie ain't got a career no more. Jussie gonna come out. He better come out talking about reparations now. Jussie better talk about reparations right now. Because he ain't got a career no more. Empire gone. Underground gone. And probably all them projects that had Jussie Smollett penciled in, gone. Don't nobody want to fuck with you. Boy. You little silly ass boy. You fucked up, Jussie. Jussie fucked up. And the reason that Jussie fucked up is because he bought into his light-skinnedness. He thought he was going to get through all this shit just because he was light. And don't nobody give a fuck about your complexion, bruh. Because at the end of the day, you tried to blame some white folks. You tried to blame some white folks that don't even know who you are. Most Trump people don't even know who Jussie Smollett is. Most Trump supporters would not even know who Jussie Smollett is. But yet, it's going to be two motherfuckers walking through Chicago, Midtown Chicago, on the coldest day of the year with bleach and rope and all kinds of shit, just looking for some B-list celebrity to terrorize with a Subway sandwich. Well, they didn't terrorize him with a Subway sandwich. Jussie said he had a Subway sandwich. And I guess he was still holding on to the Subway sandwich when the police showed up. Oh, now he held on to that Subway sandwich getting beat up like that. Well, he didn't get beat up. I forgot. Yes. So I guess he really, if you had fought, that Subway sandwich should have been beat all up. He should have only had like some breadcrumbs in his hand. The pieces of Subway paper, because he should have been beating somebody with that Subway sandwich. But he had his Subway sandwich still clenched in his hand. Unbothered. The sandwich was totally fine, when the police came. I mean, he had a sandwich in his hand and a noose around his neck. He ain't bothered to take the noose off the neck, and he ain't let the Subway sandwich go. He was like, they're like, the police here. He's like, oh, okay, I got my props. I got my noose. I got my sandwich in my hand. Okay, let him in. Let him in. Hold on a second. Let me get my face off fluster. I mean, seriously, somebody puts a noose around your neck. Instinctively, the first thing you do is take the noose off your neck. Instinctively. If you have a sandwich in your hand and somebody starts whooping your ass, either I'm going to whoop your ass with the sandwich, or I'm going to drop the sandwich and have a closed fist ready to clock whatever's closest to me. Jussie had the sandwich still in his hand. It was in good shape, the cop said. It still in good shape. Just held on to it. Great advertising for Subway. Subway sandwiches can hold up through a beating in Midtown Chicago. Bread is tough. The guy fucked up his career because he was angry about a salary that was about to end anyway. Empire was almost over. They weren't getting renewed. Everybody was tired of the same fucking plot. They hooked everybody because they were like, yeah, we're going to make it like this. And then they ended up making it like that. And then people like, we don't like those. Just sitting there breathing heavy and shit when the cops show up, fogging up the plastic bag and shit. Yeah, that was a horrible, horrible ass situation. Who keeps a noose around their neck? Who does it? Hell, that's why I don't wear neckties, because a motherfucker came up behind me and did my necktie like this, and they took a picture. I don't wear neckties. I'll never wear neckties again. Ever. So one of the things that got brought to my attention dealing with Claire, I know she's a big supporter of Black Lives Matter. And she's also a supporter of the LGBTQIAP. Now, I don't know if she's LGBTQIAP, but I know she's a big supporter of that. She had a LGBTQIAP flag in her hand when she was holding up the Black Lives Matter sign in the picture. I noticed that. I noticed that she had that sign and the flag right there hand in hand. And it was quite prophetic to know that she tied those things in and was ready for the photo op. Now, if it was Black Lives Matter, I'm not sure exactly why the LGBTQIAP flag had to be there. And if it was LGBTQIAP, I'm not sure why the Black Lives Matter sign had to be there. Why did they have to coincide? But when you think about Black Lives Matter, you think about its organizers, its founders, and it was founded on the premise of trans people running Black Lives Matter. Heading up Black Lives Matter basically is who they really built Black Lives Matter for. It was for brutalized black trans people, and it was also built to help them get the bag so they could start up nonprofits and different organizations, not Black Americans, not helping out the brutalized and battered and murdered families of Black Americans. It was to help out Black trans people. That's why Black Lives Matter was created, and most people don't know that. I was watching my brother Tony DeLaramie, and he breaks things down so eloquently. I love it. I love it. I love it. one of the things that he had someone named Ian Stewart. It might be Ian. It's IANNE Stewart. He had her on, and she was on a show. I think it was a clip, and he had the clip, and she broke down where Black Lives Matter came from, because a lot of people think it came from them starting it up because of black people being murdered, but she broke it down what Black Lives Matter was started for and who was supposed to be in charge of it, and even admitted, and I'm gonna play it so you can hear it, even admitted that Black Lives Matter got off course. It did not go as planned. Give me one sec. Make sure this is here.
Thank you so much for having me. I think that it is crucial that we understand that Black trans people have been the blueprint for the struggle for Black freedom for forever. We, the founders of.
Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Black trans people were the foundation for Black liberation. So now that I know that, I can say, oh, let's start over, shall we?
Thank you so much for having me. I think that it is crucial that we understand that Black trans people have been the blueprint for the struggle for Black freedom for forever. We, the founders of Trees Colors, Opal Tomenti, all three of them started Black Lives Matter with the intention of.
He had to block that out for some reason, the names of the founders, but you can hear a couple of them in there, just a little part of their name. Obviously, that's some type of situation for lawsuit purposes. So appreciate Brother Deliramy doing that, so I didn't have to.
Black trans women being at the center of this work. As the movement has grown and as time has passed, we've perhaps moved away from that in some ways, but I think that in general we have to understand that this moment that we are experiencing requires and necessitates the presence, uplifting, and empowerment of Black trans people. And I think that the moment that we find ourselves in is one that I hope has longevity and continues to move forward.
So just again, just so y'all know,
Black trans women being at the center of women. All three of them started Black Lives Matter with the intention of Black trans women being at the center of this work.
So when they started Black Lives Matter, they did not start Black Lives Matter based on the bloodshed. They just used that to get the donations in. But the main goal was to uplift Black trans women, not Black dead people. That's just who they got the bag from. Everybody makes money off of our detriment. Even our own people made money off of us. And don't just blame Patrisse Cullors and Alicia Garza and the other one that I always forget her name. Blame the NAACP too, because they got well over $100 million in the last couple years too, based on Black Lives Matter issues for their legal defense fund, which I still want to know why they couldn't give Kenneth Walker no money when he was having to deal with that shit, and Tyler Perry had to come up with some of his Medea money. Yeah, I heard the light-skinned Kenyan had COVID. I would have thought he got a bulletproof vacation. I would have thought they gave him the tip-top medication. And how he get it? Where was he at? I want to hear where he was at. Where do you think he got it from? And how Michelle ain't got it. If he got it, how Michelle ain't got it. I mean, I know the arrangement is an arrangement. So was he out with the fellas that night? No pun intended. Kind of. But yeah. That to me. Oh, sorry, I hit the button by accident. That to me, and most people don't know that Black Lives Matter was created with black trans people in mind. Most people think that it was created for people that had been murdered. They weren't looking out for us. They were looking out for someone else. Because the one thing that I also have noticed too, they always want us to come running. Freedmen, Black Americans, Native Black Americans, let me clarify. They always want us to come running to the defense of everybody. But who runs to our defense? We only defend ourselves. Even black trans people, I ain't seen on the forefront of none of this shit that's happened with black people. I ain't seen it. Hell, I see more white trans people marching in the Black Lives Matter marches than I see black trans. When all the shit jumped off with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, all of them, I saw more white trans people than I saw black trans people saying Black Lives Matter. Why is there so much fucking traffic in this shopping center? Ain't a motherfucking store open in this bitch. I'm just sitting here. I think there'd be like Uber cars coming in here. They'd be sitting, chilling. But yeah. Black Lives Matter, it was made and it was positioned and it was set up to have black trans women run it. And see, what they didn't realize is you've got to have a foundation on all levels. It took a long time for black people to be able to have a foundation on all levels. But I mean, hell, we had 246 years of free labor, of practice, of putting our own infrastructure together. And within 20 years outside of slavery, we had our own schools, we had our own doctor's offices, we had our own not medical office, we were lawyers, had our own everything. Within 20 years out of slavery. They held us back from doing anything for 246 years. And within 20 years out of slavery, we moved ahead of most of this fucking country. Because most people weren't doing what black people were doing 20 years out of slavery. Most people were fucking peasants. And they didn't know shit because they hadn't had to know shit. They were basically misguided, miseducated peasants. That's what most of America was in 1885, 20 years out of slavery. They weren't shit. Po white trash. Period. Where black people flourished. At least the ones who knew they were free. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers that didn't know they was free in 1885. Oh yeah, slavery might have ended legally, but there were still enslaved people 20 years outside of slavery. They don't like talking about that type of shit. They try to make it seem like everybody was set free 1865. Everybody gone. No. Hell, there's people still on fucking plantations in the 1960s. There's still people on plantations in the 1960s. Absolutely. That was a horrible turn. All they had to do was go around the island and come back out. He tried to make a loop, and he has a compact car, which lets you know he can't drive worth a shit. And his car is too small. You don't want to get hit by him. His insurance ain't going to tap out enough. You don't want to get hit by that motherfucker. They be trying to settle first month. But the subject line said Claire. And that's why I got on here tonight to talk about Claire. Claire and her lying ass. And all y'all motherfuckers who rode with Claire. Because it's going to get shared on the MC page whether they keep it up or not. They're going to probably knock it down. I'm going to put it up. Uh-oh. Free, you need to be sharing this everywhere. YAD, all of them. If somebody else shares it, it's better than me sharing it. I don't understand these goddamn styles. These styles now with the ladies with the shirts that they're up above their neck. Fucking a Herman Monster collection. The fuck? Oh, that looks great. French toast pound cake, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Whew. Okay. What makes these chicks think they deserve $50,000 a month for child support? Bitch, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? So, right on, right on. I had a screenshot, and I've seen this before, but then I finally just said, what's really going on here? So a lady said, this is why I don't get WYD text, what you doing text. I don't know why she doesn't get them, because I thought everybody gets them. Hell, I get them. Bills due soon. Fundamentally, there's a problem with this, and I don't know if everybody has seen this or not, but fundamentally, there's a problem with this. First and foremost, she says she has a rent payment of $3,000 a month. If you can afford a rent payment, then you can afford a mortgage. You can afford a rent payment of $3,000 a month, you can afford a mortgage. So you're already going out the world ass backwards. Car note is $600. What kind of vehicle are you driving at $600? Because if you can afford $3,000 a month, that means your credit must be decent enough. You should be able to afford a better vehicle, probably a lease with a lower payment. What are you doing here? Light bill $287. I don't know why. I'm in a commercial dwelling and the light bill is just a little bit more than $300 a month. What are you doing at your home to burn almost $300 a month in lights? Gas bill $178. What the fuck are you doing? Your gas bill should not be $178. Your light bill is one thing, it's gonna be higher. But your gas bill, what are you burning? What are you burning to get a $178? So you're talking almost $400. Actually, $130. It is over $400. About $450, $460. $460 in gas and electric. What are you doing? $187 for a water bill. You better have the cleanest booty crack in the world for a $200 water bill by yourself. I know y'all gonna say, how I know she lived by herself? Right here. Cable, $210. $210. I don't know what you do, but if you paying a $3,000 rent, you work a lot. There's no way you watching cable $210 a month worth. Girl, get you a Fire Stick. Trash, $45 a month. Thought that'd be rolled into something. If she's staying somewhere where she got rent, why is she paying for trash? Why isn't the landlord paying for trash? They usually have the trash receptacles when you rent a house. They usually have the trash receptacles. She's in an apartment. Why would she be paying for trash when she just throw the trash in a dumpster like everybody else? That's a lick right there. If they're getting $45 per tenant to pay for trash, trash don't be that much. Trash don't be that much. Cell phone, $500. $500. Who the fuck has a $500 cell phone bill by themselves? Probably still wondering, how the fuck do I know she lives by herself? Insurance, $200. She looks over 25, so she should have a little bit lower insurance, even if it's full cover. But if she got a $600 note, might be a pricey car. But here's how I know she lives by herself. Grocery bill, $400. $100 a week for groceries. She don't live with nobody. Ain't no kids in that house. So why are you paying for all this shit? Toiletries, $100. Why ain't that in groceries? So that'd be $500 a month. You still ain't did shit. Miscellaneous, $300 a month. So your miscellaneous is almost as much as you eat. What the fuck are you doing miscellaneously? What are you doing miscellaneously? Your miscellaneous is 10% of what your rent is. You should slow down on the miscellaneous. You should miss miscellaneous. Talking about this is why I don't get what you doing text. Nah, bitch, because you need some money. That's why you don't get them. They know what you're doing. You know what everybody know what you're doing. Yeah. Y'all ain't seen that? Y'all seen that? I seen that. That's what that is. I don't get this. Whatever. Salute you, independents. Yeah. Go ahead, independents. Shit. Man, I've seen some people I hadn't seen in 35 years today. Crazy. 30 years. 20 years. 5 years. Seen a lot of people today that, I hadn't seen in a long time. And I've seen a couple that I don't really give a fuck whether I ever see again. Patty, of course. Yeah, Claire and her Black Lives Matter LGBTQIAP thing ain't fooling me. That ain't fooling me. Your allegiance to both doesn't bother me. But the fact that you're trying to put them together, they have nothing to do with one another. Nothing. I have nothing. Nothing. My granddaughter, she's still just, that girl's crazy. I wonder if my grandson really texted me when he texted me. He wanted to approve a game or something on his iPad, and I just did it and didn't say nothing. He was like, "Thank you, Grandpa." I wonder if he really typed that. I meant to ask his mama. Where is his? Where's that at? We just text. He said, "Thank you, Grandpa." I'm like, man, there it is. Did he put that? He said, "Did it download?" And he said, "Yes." And he did a thumbs up. I really want to know if he did that. If he's texting me now, about shit. 6-year-old. So what's been going on the haps lately? I saw my name tagged in a couple of things, but I had no idea what the conversation was. What's been popping? Am I missing some stuff? Am I missing some good stuff? Has haps changed anything yet? I'd love to know. I'm genuinely interested. I really am. I am genuinely interested. Y'all need to know that. Y'all need to know that. How y'all doing with these prices? The prices of things are just going up so much. And nobody's really making any more money. Nobody's making any more money. And it's unfortunate. I know some people are going to make their incremental, get their incremental raises and things like that, but it's still not enough because the prices of things are going up. The cost of living is going up. It's not just the gas. It's not just the gas. And everything that is produced takes fuel to make it, fuel, oil. It's a continuation. It's a continuing factor. Yeah, I haven't been a part of the discussions. I've just I've just kind of seen a couple of the chats, but I haven't, I don't really know what's going on. It just seems like, one of the things that I've done is kind of stand back on in people's chats because it's just too much bickering. And I'm not sure exactly where all the bickerings come from because I didn't come here for all that shit. I'm not in this space for that. People don't realize how close to third world situation we could get. If you get people who can't afford to get back and forth to work, you're going to have people that are actually going to work to pay to go to work. Gas prices get too high. Some people's money is going to, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. And these tax breaks that they're talking about doing and lowering the gas, that's not a few cents here and there. And that's not even long term. They already said there's not going to be a turnaround in the gas prices for the remainder of the year. We may see a dip here and there, but nothing's coming all the way back down, at least until next year. So Americans that aren't bracing themselves for this, I mean, we have to be ready. See, I know there's going to be people that can't survive. There's going to be people that can't cut it. And this is the crazy thing that I know that there's giving a lot of resources to a lot of people that are coming to this country. There's no foundation there. They're just offering pacifiers to people. Because these people won't have substantive situations by the time it really gets hectic out here. So if you got some people that are in limbo, they're going to get fucked up just as much as people that both basically have their feet on the ground and they just don't have it. So last thing you want to be is somebody out here and be a man without a country. And there's going to be a lot of those. There's going to be a lot of people that America is trying to get them over the hump, but there ain't going to be enough time. There's a lot of things that have to come into play to house a family of 4 or 5, or a few families that have come over here and they're going to try to put them together. They always try to put people together, keep them together. They do that to immigrants, but they don't do that to black people. They try to separate us. But anybody else come over here, we try to keep you together, try to keep you tight. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter exactly what's going to happen is these people are not going to have a foundation when things get thick. And the people who do have somewhat of a foundation, they're going to take them over. Because when it gets bad out here, it's going to get bad. Bad. You won't see motherfuckers on the corners at the stoplight. That profitability is about to go down. They about to go to where their market's really warm. You'll see them motherfuckers over at the immigration office. You'll see them motherfuckers over, social services and things like that. They're going to be begging where the people are. They used to ask Jesse James why he robbed banks. He said that's where the money is. Yeah. So when you see a motherfucker not on the exit anymore, trust me, he's set up somewhere else. Yeah. So, well, just struck midnight, so I guess it's Wednesday now. Yeah, it's Wednesday now. Got text. So We're going to check it again tomorrow because I know as of 10 p.m. tonight, the owner of Ipsy Ale House has not returned any phone calls. They've not tried to rectify this situation by their manager, Claire, who has now changed her Facebook profile and taken Ipsy Ale House off as her place of employment. Hopefully nobody has done anything to Ipsy Ale House. We don't want that. We don't want vandalism. We don't want anybody doing anything, to physically accost anybody, But some reason she's taken that off as her employment. So maybe the people of Ipsy Ale House didn't quite agree with Claire's statement. Those statements made by Claire are not directly those opinions of Ipsy Ale House type shit. Maybe that's what that happened. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they're going to try pacifiers. They're going to try bridge cards. They're going to try all types of this, that, and the other. No, it's not going to work. There's about to be some people out here in the street. I'm talking about in the street. You already got a couple combos. They got a couple combos, Packard and Carpenter. The boyfriend's on one side and the girlfriend's on the other side, and they got a dog. You got a lot of motherfucking nerve to be out here, motherfucking on the street begging and shit, and you got a motherfucking dog. You got a lot of motherfucking nerve. It's hard for me to feel sorry for you when you got a goddamn canine. I feel sorry for the canine because he don't deserve to be laying out there in the goddamn cold while you panhandling. Get that dog up. Get that dog up. I think that is cruel and unusual punishment for that dog. Give it up. You can't afford a dog. Nobody told you? You on the street. You can't afford a dog. Okay? Okay? Shit. Motherfuckers. Ooh, that's some cruel shit. You up here on one corner, she on another corner, and the dog's like, really? Really? And then I saw another motherfucker at Washington and 23. This motherfucker had Jordans on and had an iPhone. I wish I would give him $1. He had J's on and he had an iPhone. Can't do nothing for you, bro. You dress better than I do. I'm good on that. Good luck to you in your journey. You got J's on, bro, and you got an iPhone. Okay. It ain't like you gonna be sitting up here with a knockoff motherfucking pair of J's on. Yeah. I turn my lights on. All these lights in the parking lot gonna cut on their motion sensor. I'm sitting here in the dark now. Peace to everybody in the half space. Y'all be good out here, man. People that put on cast, they're a different breed of people. Takes a lot to open that mic, open that camera up. And if you're really trying to put together some good material, I commend you for it. Now, if you're just up here to fuck around and just do nothing, then I'm not going to commend you for it. But if you are trying to put some work in, I commend you for it. But if you're on some simp shit, okay. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. I like that. Shanna be finding some good memes. Wow. Michael Beasley said his family stole all kinds of money from him. Huh. I really wish also that any content creator out here, especially the Freedmen content creators, we need not get into other bullshit with other freedmen if we're on a path for repair. If you're just on some stupid shit and you just do goofy shit, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people that are about collective uplift, that really want to see true repair for freedmen. Don't get distracted. Peace, cuz. Don't get distracted out here and get to bickering and fighting with people that are supposed to be on your side. Figure that shit out. Now, there's going to be some people that aren't on your side. I'm not telling you to coon or clown out for anybody. Somebody does you wrong, by all means, handle that shit amicably. Or sometimes you got to handle shit when it's not amicable. But handle it. I try to handle shit. And sometimes I go a little overboard in trying to handle shit because I just want to make sure shit is right. Sometimes shit just don't be right. Sometimes shit just don't be right. But y'all be good. Y'all just take care of each other. A lot on my mind right now, so we'll go write a little more. Roll a little earlier. Go write some more. The writing seems really spirited. Some people would probably categorize it as angry, but I'm not angry. I'm just spirited. Real shit. Real shit. One love.
Buttermilk biscuits. I enjoy it.
Apology not accepted, Claire. At all.